So stream my bad. Give me a minute. I'm trying to fix all these settings and shit. Like every time my PC powers off, um, I gotta redo all my settings again. Okay. Um, Before I do this as well, I need to post the links and post everything. All right. I'm gonna go in order real quick. I also have to open MT4. Just gonna go in order with everything that I was looking for. So ADCHF, we're looking for a new weekly low to be made. So I want to. This was last week's low and last week's high. Right, so we kind of already knew that price had to come back up to this place here, and it did. Boom. Higher high, higher low, lower high, lower low, lower high, boom, lower low, lower high, lower low. So, um, only thing I don't like about AUDCHF is where we're actually at in the pattern to be looking for shorts in a peak low territory, right? So I'm gonna be waiting for structure. Right, there's two things I'm waiting for. I just want to wait. I want to wait for structure to finally be made, right? Going into a downtrend, and I'll be waiting for the entry that has the most confluence, right? So I'm gonna be looking for that 15-minute BOS. I'm waiting for that 15-minute change of character, right? After I wait for that change of character, I'm waiting for a retracement back to, a pullback, a significant pullback, and then I'm also going to be looking for the EMA bounce in this certain area in the level that we're in within the pattern, which is going to be the 50. So if I don't get an entry that has all those confluences, right, all those different confirmations, there's no way I'm going to take this entry. right? Just based on where we're at in the pattern. AU I haven't written down, so I'm just reading it off the notebook. AU we have the same thing, third week low, but this one is a little bit better, right? We are level 2 drop, right? So this one we have this week gave us the pullback and is looking the same as AJ, right? Only difference is this one is moving a little bit faster, which is all good. But I'm gonna be doing the same thing, right? Regardless, today pair already hit ADR for the day, so I'm not gonna be looking for an entry today anymore, right? What I want to look for is the same thing. I want to see a change of character. I want to see a retest. I want to see price bounce off the EMA, and then we'll look for an entry there. Euro AUD, we're looking for a third week high. Again, this one is opposite from the other ones, right? The other one's pulled back going up. This one we got a pullback from the end of the week last week to this week, right? We had a pullback going down, which is all good, right? Based on where we're at in the pattern. Also, let's go to the daily time frame. We're looking for a push to go up, 50 EMA, bounce off the 50, right? And we're looking for a new weekly high to be made. So on this one, it's a little bit different. Right? This one, the way it moves is it's a little bit slower. The moves are a little bit more drastic. So significant pullbacks are pretty difficult to find here. But if we start marking this, all right, hold on, give me 1 second because this shit looks weird right now. I hate pairs that look like this. All right. We had this break. This break gave us this high and this low, and this was our change of character. Change of character, right? That's step number 1 that we needed for this to start looking for entries. Right, so then we had what we have, right? This break gave us this low, right? And then we can continue to say we have higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Right, so this one is good. Right, the other thing I want to see with this one is now I want to see a pullback. I want to see a clean pullback right today already. It's 132, so I'm pretty sure this one's still no. It already did ADR as well. So this one for me for today is done with. Right, there's nothing else for me on this one. Euro CAD trade that I took last night. Literally right at couple minutes after, like an hour and a half after session open. Right. Price was simple with this. What were we looking for? Euro CAD. Let me see. I have this written down. Right. We're looking for continuations to go up. Right. And it was the same thing. Price gave us a pullback, start of the week. Gave us a change of character. Went into our zone as well. Waited for the change of character retest. Right. Happened here. And then continued going up. Right. My TP was based on ADR. ADR for the day, right, which was about, I think it was like 63, ended up just getting 60. So EuroCAD already did the move for the day, so we're not going to be looking at that anymore. Euro GBP, we're looking for a third week high, right? So this is one which was the same thing, right? This one actually gave us not a clean entry because of all the wicks, right? All the wicks probably would have taken us out. But this is not too big of a pair, so probably not, right? It's only 50. So let's break it down, right? We had this low, or this low broke gave us this high. This high broke here gave us a change of character, and gave us still this low. This change of character here gave us this low, so now we're trading between this low and this high. So gave us a clean, right? Just a little wall here. Right, but all these wicks at the bottom, so it wasn't as clean as the other entries, right? Because I have one more entry with USD CAD. I chose the best one. For me, it was Euro, AUD, and USD CAD. So Euro GBP, almost same entry criterias, right? Still gonna be looking for a new high to be made. Change of character was already made. Pretty much, you know, the pullback retest was already made as well. But in this case, I'm gonna wait for another clean entry, right? Yes, we still have a long way to go to the top, so we could definitely find other entry opportunities for this one. So we're gonna keep an eye on this one. Euro GBP is also try to see if we can get an entry today. Euro NZD, same thing. We're looking for a new weak high to be made. Same situation as the other one, right? We had this low broke, gave us this high broke. This is the change of character. Right, change of character is made. Gives us the pullback retest into back to the smaller time frame change of character, which happened here. Boom. Right, it threw wicks at the bottom. Wouldn't have taken us out, but we would definitely be in a drawdown, right? 30 pip drawdown, which sucks. So it's the same situation as Euro GBP, right? It gives us a clean entry, right? Technically speaking, gives us a retest of the change of character in a lower time frame. But just because of these wicks, right? It's a 27 pip wick. So based on where stop loss is supposed to be, we should be risking about 30 pips, but this wick alone gets scary sometimes. So, but Euro NZD, again, we are looking for this to start going up, so this is good where we're at. I just wanted a clean entry, right? A better entry than this based on just the wick. So if we don't get an entry today, if we don't get another entry opportunity today, that's fine. I'll wait for another continuation. Again, we have to go all the way up here for price for this week, so we're chilling, right? There's nothing missed. We took our 2 entries today, so not too bad, right? The same situation with USD CAD. USD CAD, only difference here is doesn't have a week or month continuations or day continuations. This was simply based on market maker's pattern, low of consolidation, right? We already know what that means, right? Not only are we at the low consolidation, right? We had a consolidating level that was made in the 30-minute time frame for the last, pretty much the last week, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, right? We were at the low consolidation in a higher time frame. We're also at the low consolidation in the lower time frame. Price pulled, right? Lower time frame is when we started seeing lower high, higher low, higher high, right? Once we got that change of character and price started giving us a wall, that was the entry. I already knew, perfect, we're pushing up. And that's exactly what happened, right? And here I had my rules, right? I could have had another entry, really, if I was awake for it, based on the 50 EMA, right? Once we pulled up, we got above the 50 EMA, we got a little pullback into it. That would have been a second entry, right into profit. Literally, probably would have had a little bit of drawdown with these red and green wick. Draw down 4 pips, and then we would have went up, secured another 30 pips there. So this one was a good trade. So USD CAD, wait, my bad. I already turn these off. Let's see. USD JPY, we're looking for a continuation level 2 drop. So let's see, we had a change of character. This change of character gave us this high and this low, which is what we're trading in, right? This little zone kind of got ate up, right? And this zone was based on just 1, 2, 3 candlestick pattern, candlestick analysis here, but got eaten up. So now, just looking at today's structure, right? Looking at yesterday's to today's, we still have high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then here it made a higher high, right, compared to this high that was here. Unless we say this is a whole trend, which we can, because this was all still, it's following the same trend, lower low, lower highs all the way to down here. So we could even say that this is a high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and then here it created an equal low. Now it gave us a green engulfing candle with no bottom wick, and it gave us a red candle with no bottom wick. This could be a pullback, just getting back into the zone, because this red candle also didn't have a top wick. So this could be the candle that's going to be creating this red candle's top wick to continue going down, right? And then we also have here an internal structure, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Boom. Red candles all the way down to give us a lower low, right? So there could be a push up to be a lower high. But again, the only thing I don't like about it is the fact that this low, if this low would have been broken, I would have been a lot more comfortable taking this trade, right? But the fact that this low, not only did a wick go below it with no candle closure below, but then also the 2 candles that did close next to it literally just closed right next to it. So there's a few things conflicting here for me, right? It's the fact that we made equal lows instead of making that lower low and just really confirming that we're going to continue to drop. And now we have, this green engulfing candle. So for me now at this point, I just want to wait, right? Again, where we're at based on the pattern is also something that I want to take into consideration, right? The fact that we had a previous peak high, we started going down and we started making our first zone, right? And then at the end of the zone, price started going right back up to peak high territory, right? So technically speaking, we'd be in peak high territory right now. So, oh well, look, the 30-minute candle just opened. So this was an accelerated 30-minute candle in the last couple of minutes. Um, so, just based on that, I'm gonna actually just turn this off, and we'll look at it again another time. USD ZAR, if I'm not mistaken, we're looking for a new week high. Did I write this one down? USD, oh yeah, USD ZAR, yep, another week, a weekly high to be made. So same situation as the other ones, right? This one had a low, the high, low was made, which was here. This low was broken, gave us this high, and this low, the low was never broken, the high was. So boom, this was another good entry to take. Right, this was our change of character. Right, after the change of character was made, price pulled up, pushed back down, right, hit a little retest right here because we go into a lower time frame. This is lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and this just retested back into the zone, the first change of character in a lower time frame, then continue going up. So probably honestly would have taken the trade here, or if you didn't want to take like this risky trade for it to continue to going down, we could have just waited for a candle closure, right? So we would have entered somewhere here. Boom, as soon as price closed above, that would have been the entry and we would have been straight into profit. So regardless, right, but we had this break, gave us this low, and we're just waiting for a pullback at this point. So this could be a good one for the end of the week. And the last pair is gold. Gold, we're looking for this to start going down. This is what I had drawn out. I just forgot what time frame I drew it on. I think it was the 1 hour. Right now it's picture perfect, literally up until right here, right? But now the fact that I'm seeing price do this, and price already went into our zone that we were looking for price to go into. And also, if I'm not mistaken, we had the fib, right? So there was two zones that I had taken into consideration. Is our little zone in the box, and then also the fact that it's overlapping our fib retracement. But now that the fact that price is creating this wall here is making me believe it's gonna slow down going into just our box, our reversal zone, and it's also the 800 EMA. So I'm not surprised by this. But at this case, now I'm just waiting for either a new low to be made or for price to just give me internal change of characters and continue the trend. And the reason I say that, let me start deleting all this shit. I don't like all this on my screen. It's really if you notice, right, we had this break, gave us this low and this high. This high hasn't been broken, so it hasn't given us any low. The low obviously hasn't been broken either. So for me to take a comfortable trade here, I want to see some sort of BOS change of character before taking an entry, right? Because if we start looking at it, this is why I don't really like taking a trade, right? Because I like using examples that are live and it's happening. We have higher high, I don't want to count the internal, which is the inside, right? It's just higher high, higher low, or yeah, higher low, higher high, higher low, lower high, higher low, lower high. It's like, where are we gonna take these entries, right? If we're looking at the right structure, there's no clean entry, right? Now if we get confused and we start saying, okay, middle of the day yesterday, right? We had lower high, lower low, lower high, right? If you didn't want to enter in the first lower high, you got another one, lower low, lower high, boom, your entry was here, right? And then alright, you're in profit, it's not bad, you got 50 pips, right? But then price reversed, went right back up, lower low, lower low, higher high, right? We know 90% of the people who are trading gold are not going to be satisfied with 50 pips. We know that because gold doesn't move 50 pips, it moves 100, 200 pips, right? So if we were to be trading shit like this without looking at the real structure, we would be trapped in this, right? Not only would we be trapped, But then we'd also just have our stop loss probably into profit already because we're already up 30, 40 pips. And instead of cash, we'll cash out in profit, a little bit of pips, break even, instead of cashing out. But we don't want that. We want the full move. So at this point now, it's just a waiting game for price. If price decides to create a wall, decides to create a consolidating range, then we'll just wait for that. Right? We'll wait for a BOS of the zone to then get a retest on that and enter there. Or we're gonna wait for a new high to be made. Once a new high is made, we get a closer new low that's being made as well, and we wait for a change of character in a higher time frame before we start looking for the drops which are necessary to carry this gap down here, to cover the gap that's down here. So that's what I'm waiting for on gold. Right, we missed last week's. Right, the last 2 weeks we've missed those entries on gold, but I've been a lot more comfortable taking these trades here. So that's pretty much it. That's the rundown. Right, so now that we know the rundown, I also want to look at the ones that I haven't been looking at, which is US 30 and S&P. We had this high break, this low, and this high, and so the low just broke now, which is good. Right, this was called for already. I already knew that this was going to move overnight based on the fact that it was a federal holiday. US 30 and all these pairs love moving overnight after federal holiday days. So a change of character happened. Now I'm looking for a retest. It's also below the 200, so that's good. S&P, same situation. Only difference is nothing. It looks the same. Whoa, thank you. Same situation. Gotta change the character. Now we're waiting for a retest. Looking for a little pullback. Same situation for NAS, I'm pretty sure. Yep. NAS a little different. We had this high, this low. The same shit. This high broke, gave us this new high and this low here. So, but same entry criteria for S&P, US 30, and this shit. Same thing. I'm looking for that change of character. Once a change of character has been given, now I'm looking for a pullback. Once it gives me a pullback, that'll be our entry. So nothing for gold. ZAR already moved. It already moved compared to ADR. AU already moved, AC already moved. So only pairs to keep an eye on, right? Because even if we look at GJ, let me do something real quick. So we had this break, gave us this high, this low, nothing happened. This high broke, gave us another change of character, gave us this low, and gave us this high. Hold on, what is all this? This high was given, gave us this low, this high was given, gave us this break. This break happened, and you gave me this low. I don't want to use the opening candle because it's a wick, or it's a gap. It's all good. Whatever. So we're trading between, oh, hold on. Alright, then this break happened. And then we had this high. And then we had this break. So then this break gave us this low, which was also opening candle. And then boom, we got a change of character and a downtrend. It's good. Little change of character in a lower time frame. Happened here, this break, this change of character gave us this high. Right? Which is then giving us, waiting to see if it's giving us a significant pullback to get this low. Right, and then at this point, there's two things I want to take into consideration. Number one thing being ADR. Do we still have an opportunity to enter? Let's see. My bad, I'm opening up my second screen, so I'm not going to be able to see chat if people start typing. GJ, peak high territory. I'm not looking for price to push up anymore. Could be expecting price to push up, but I'm not. Not right now. If we calculate ADR for this one, now we're still missing 15 pips to go. So let's see. Does everything line up? Everything lines up. This could be a possible entry. I want to see all my confluences in one place. Perfect. That's it. Let's see if we got our entry. Let's see if we get an opportunity to enter here. Probably during NYC, maybe. We'll add a little line to it. We'll put a little alert. Alert, 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 alert. Let me go back real quick. So AUD, I'm also. Should I turn it off? No, because I have them on for a reason. So I'm not gonna turn it off, but I'm just gonna go through it. So AUD CHF, I'm not trading. AU, I'm not trading. Euro AUD, I'm not trading. Euro GBP, I'm trading. Okay, I could look at. We could keep looking at Euro GBP. I just don't like how it's moving. Honestly, for being a euro pound trade, I might not look at it right now during NYC. Usually, we could be getting a move now. We'll have some type of volume coming in. But usually not really. Like we really look like 9:30, 9 o'clock NYC open. We don't really get any of those pushes, so I might not even look at this shit. Anytime, like the only time we got NYC push here was last week Thursday. Alright, then we got another one now. Yeah, we got this one too. Wednesday. So it's like on and off. Sometimes it wants to move during NYC, sometimes it doesn't. Problem is this. It's not really a problem, but the way I'm looking at it is all these wicks down here, right? These could be fake outs, these could be liquidity grabs, these could be, exhaustion candles, making us believe that we're gonna go up. But then I also see this as just a trap. Like once the market starts throwing stuff like this at us, it starts getting a little confusing, right? And that's what they want, right? Once something gets confusing, that's how you either lose a trade or you miss out on a trade, right? There's only two real things that could happen, right? But if everything was crystal clear, like yeah, we see a double bottom, we see that break, that change of character, we got the pullback, price always closed above on the retest, never below, wicks at the bottom, which is again the liquidity grabs, all this shit we want to say that is, and then gave us an engulfing candle here, 1-2 engulfing candle, right? Then it's also where we're at, bro. That's my biggest thing as well. I want to always take into consideration, yo, what are all these lines? Holy shit. Anyway, right? I don't really have it marked here. We were looking at it like this, which there's no way this shit looks mad ugly. Mad ugly. It's a whole zone of consolidation here. Literally. If you zoom out, there's a whole zone. We're at the bottom of it. Technically. So and then just looking at it like this from the top to the bottom. Push 1, push 2, trap fall is real. Push 3. We're at the bottom of that other 3 pushes. We're also at the bottom of the start of the top pushes. It could be a safety trade going to the top. But again, just the way it's moving right now is just not. It's not my cup of tea. It's not my cup of tea. It's definitely not what I want to look for. Like, it's just not. Even though we have a clear third week rise, I feel like an entry today would be super risky. And it's only Wednesday, sorry. It'll be a little bit easier to wait. We'll probably get Thursday, Friday, right? Because we also got to take ADR into consideration. Wednesday, it hasn't really moved today. Is it gonna give us enough to even push up to where we need to be to get a new high, right? I'm not gonna look at that. Right, same situation with Euro NZD. Only difference that this one looks a little bit cleaner than the other one, right? Based on market maker's pattern, it looks cleaner. Based on how the market is moving, right? How price is moving, it looks cleaner. Not a lot of wicks like the other one. Moves are a little bit more simple on this one. Now let's see, like let's say we had this high, right? Let's say we would have said this high. Oh shit, it broke. Okay, gave us this low and this high. So we'd be waiting for a pullback into that 0.5 zone. Zor and gold already moved. GJ, I said I need a little steeper pullback, man. Start going up. You know, Euro NZD's on the same boat. Alright, yeah, we're looking for a third week high. So an entry going up would be ideal. Especially here, right? Low, high, low, change of character and lower time frame. Create a little support resistance here. Right, this is all support resistance, and then it pushed up above. And right now we're just within that support resistance zone. We have a support here at the top, and we have one here at the bottom. Right, and it's doing the same thing. It's making equal lows and equal highs for the last fucking 4 hours. Since 3 in the morning we've been doing that. Goes up, rejects, goes down, rejects, goes up, rejects, goes down, rejects twice, goes up, rejects 3 times. So this price is just trapped within these little zones. So at this point it's like, okay, once we have this, are we gonna wait for price to just break out of the top and then get our entry here to continue going up? Because we have clean traffic, right? Like, it isn't until we break up out of here that we have clean traffic. 134 pips of clean traffic until we get here. And then we have, you know, the break of structure here, we have break of structures here until we make the new weekly high. Which is gonna be here. Literally, so as soon as the clean traffic is taken, that's when the new weekly high would be made. So Euro NZD is on that same boat. Now, am I gonna be taking this trade on this pullback? That's the question. I don't think I am. I don't think I am. I'm gonna eliminate the pairs that look like it could do us dirty. And in this case, the Euro pairs are the ones that look like that way. So I'm not trading anything up here. What we say about this? Nothing. This nothing. Well, this one it could be something. I forgot. This low bro gave us a change of character, gave us a slow, didn't give us a significant pullback anywhere. This could be a good one. It's probably not gonna move anymore to ZARP, USD ZARP pair. I wouldn't be expecting it to move anymore, really. But same situation as GJ. If it goes down into our zone, let's believe I'm getting that shit. So that's pretty much it for today. USD ZAR and GJ are the ones that are in my books. Besides the other two that we already took earlier tonight, earlier last night, earlier this morning. So USD ZAR and GJ are the ones on my watch list for the day. I just don't know what these lines are. I know that's my alert. Oh, this is the weekly low. We had a weekly low, and I'm assuming that was the weekly high that I had marked that I took off. And the weekly high. Right, notice how the weekly high hasn't even been broken. Like, yeah, we have wicks, but body closures, candle closures above, they were all just wicks. So if we start looking at this week, we're already on Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. Technically, this is our week low here, and our week highs up here. We're trapped within this range here. The fact that we've rejected the weekly high here is creating double bottoms everywhere, trapping all the traders. Double bottoms here, make you believe that there's like a little change of character. Retest, give you another double bottom. Faked you out with this red candle. That shit just tumbled down. Yeah, that fucked everybody. I know Drew took a loss here. I don't even have to go look. Then price just goes down, gives a change of character, right? This alone, the fact that it faked people going up and it really started going down, makes me believe that we're gonna continue that downtrend. Let's take a look at GJ here. Right, GJ, we have 3 months of rise, of previous rise. We have 7 weeks of rise. Yo, when are we gonna start giving us some downtrends here, man? Like, yeah, I understand. If we go up to the daily time frame, we start looking to our left. You know, I understand we still have more zones to go to that price could potentially go to. So, you know, again, I wouldn't be, and we have a daily, you know, gap at the top of GJ. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if price goes up and continues to go up for a few more pips. But price is also rejecting a support and resistance here. It's not making new lows. So I think we'll get a little pullback. Um, Probably back down to here. Let me see how this looks. 30-minute time frame. We have the high up there that hasn't been reached yet, and then we also have a low down here. It's very low. I don't think we'll reach all the way down there though. But we'll see. This GJ really surprises me all the time. Now the 30-minute. We have 3 days of rise. On the third day gave us a new high, ended on a no net, and then today obviously price started just going down. Also, what I see on GJ on MT4, we have a gap here. So not only is price gave us a change of character here, not only is price going back up to the 0.5 fib, not only is price going back up to the 50 EMA, we also looks like price is gonna go up to cover the gap that's here. That technically, let me see. It hasn't been filled yet, so let's see if price decides to do that. If price decides to do that, we'll get a clean entry, clean opportunities. We'll just wait it out. Yo, what's good, Kiro? Welcome to stream, my brother. What are we looking at today? We were looking at last night we were looking at G. I'm bugging right now. Hold on. We're looking at USD CAD and Euro CAD, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Euro CAD and USD CAD. Both of these trades were taken. Hold on. The fuck is my cat biting? I hear her somewhere. Both of these trades were taken last night, and TP was hit overnight. Now for today, we're looking at, well, for this morning, we're looking at GJ and USD ZAR. Yo, hold on, this cat is biting something. Let me find out what it is. Fucking cat, man. So yeah, USD ZAR and GJ is the ones that I'm gonna continue to look at for today. ZAR, I'm just looking for a pullback into the zone. Which is also a change of character, right? Never got a real significant pullback. So if it does give me a significant pullback here, my chair is sinking already. You know, I'll look for an entry. GJ, same situation. Right? GJ, I want to see this continue going short, but something is telling me that I shouldn't even think about taking this trade. Gonna be honest with you. Something deep down in my bones is telling me, yo, don't take this trade. Peak high territory. Price is just in this little range here, dude. I'm gonna lose it. I gotta fix this chair. GJ's long fake out was wild earlier. Oh yeah, I was just talking about that. I was literally just talking about that. That was like literally a few minutes before you came in when I was doing the analysis. I was saying that, like, that's why I really don't want to take this trade, is because, like, if we really notice what's happening, right? Like here in this wall, all of this was a retest. Dude, my chair keeps sinking. All of this was a retest of this, right? It gave us a double bottom here, broke out of it, came down, made everybody believe that this is going to be a little retest, and then gave us again another double bottom here, and then faked everybody out with this red wick to then continue going down and give us a change of character, right? And then now this change of character is giving us this pullback. But again, just based on where we're at and how this looks, the fact that price never broke below the low, right? It just gave us, it's slightly higher than this low here. If you notice, we're just stuck within this range. So we're stuck between the low and the high of the range. So, you know, at this point, right? At this point, we start asking ourselves, okay, are we going to allow the market to trap us and get us in this little space where we already know that if we're in the zone of consolidation, if we're at the low, it's going to go up, and if it's at the high, we're going to go down, right? Or do we do the safest thing, which is wait until we get a real breakout? Sorry, I had to kick this fucking cat out of the room. Losing control with this shit. She's not doing anything, just playing with like a piece of paper, and the sound of that shit is just gets my heart rate up. You were live yesterday, got an insane sell entry on 1930.6. I was live earlier in the morning, but not last night. No. 1930 on what pair? Gold? Yeah. This is pretty much like the same same situation as GJ, right? It's a little bit, looks a little different, but yeah, I mean, you got in the lower high and just rode that going down. It's not a bad entry. It's not bad at all. See, GJ's getting close to our little zone here. So. It makes me anxious to take a trade on GJ. It shouldn't be, honestly. Like the only thing with GJ right now, right? The only reason, I know why we feel like that, right? I know why the feeling is like that. It's because where we're at in the pattern overall, right? This is where the fake outs start happening and all that. So, the reasons why I don't want to take this trade is because of that, right? It's super simple, right? I understand that we're in the part of the pattern where we're gonna be faked out, and we have the examples, right? Like we have it here. All of this here was a fake out to go long, right? So if they're faking people while going long here, in the bottom of the range, top of the range, we're still within that range, right? So the fact that we still haven't broken out of here, any trade taken here, we already know we're gonna get faked out, right? There's a 50% chance, right? Think about it. Think about trading like this, right? Start looking at it as percentages, and you start giving yourself the reasons as to why, and you break it down, and it's not gonna make you anxious anymore. We know that. Let's just how can I explain this to make it make sense? Simple. We're in a range, right? We understand that this range, we're gonna get fake double bottoms, we're gonna get fake double tops, we're gonna get wicks that break out of the top that make us believe that we're gonna go up, and we're gonna get price, at the top of consolidation. We're gonna get fake moves, right? We're gonna get double bottom or double tops again with a change of character and a retest. What's happening right now, but we're doing that still in the zone, right? So we understand that if price is still in this zone, right, which again, that's a horrible line. Horrible line. Sorry. Let me I should delete these circles here, huh? What do you think? Right? We're still in this zone. We know what's happening, right? Like again, we could assume like, oh, we're at the top, let's take sells at the top. Oh, we're at the low, let's take buys off the low to go up. But what happens in the middle? Right? Like really start breaking it down. If we break down the internal structure, we had higher low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, boom. Here what's happening? Higher high. If this candle, if the next 30-minute candle closes as a higher high, right, price is already in our zone, right? So there's two things now that we could take a look at. Like, okay, we could take this impulse entry, right? We could take this impulse entry and just risk less, right? We could do that. But do we want to take a loss? Not really. I don't. For sure I don't. Right? So that's the whole thing that I'm looking at, is the fact that price has just been faking traders out, going both ways, still in the zone. We're still in a zone of traps, right? So instead of taking an entry here, right, like I said, this is a 50% chance of winning, right? This entry is 50-50. If it goes our way, right, and it goes short, perfect, right? Perfect. We already know that tomorrow and for the rest of the week, we could look for continuations as long as we break below the lows. Now, if we lose this trade, again, we already know why we lost it, right? We're in the middle of the zone, of the fake out zone, right? We already know that literally for the last couple days, it's been faking traders going both ways, right? So why would I put myself in a situation where I already know that there are certain things that's gonna happen here? Also, again, just the fact of the matter that we are in the highest point in the market right now, right? What's their goal is to fake us out. Their goal is for us to lose and for them to win, right? Already knowing that speaks volumes, right? Once you understand that concept, right, you'll start eliminating trades that you're going to lose, right? And then not only will you eliminate those losing trades, but then you'll also just have an upper hand, right? Because since we already know that we're in this zone, again, all we're looking for is for price to start breaking below, right? And I'm not going to use this opening green candle because that's a gap. We're just going to use the wick next to it, which is where price has been faked out the entire time, right? We had this wick, this wick, this wick, this wick, the opening candle, you know what I mean? So as long as we're still trading in between these zones here, from this bottom to this high, I'm not taking any trades. So again, looking at my confluences too, did price give us a change of character, right? Did it give us a change of character? Yes, it happened right here. Perfect. Is price downtrending? No, we're uptrending. So rule number 2 is already broken. Rule number 2 isn't being followed. So that's another reason why we're not going to be looking for that, right? Are we downtrending? No, we're still uptrending, technically speaking. Low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Right? Internal structure, are we downtrending? Yeah, we just got a little change of character now. But are we really downtrending? No. So rule number 2 is already broken. Rule number 3. Where are we in the pattern? Peak high or peak low? Peak high. Am I looking for a trade in peak high? No. Am I looking for a trade in peak low? No. So rule number 3 was already broken. Okay. After the change of character, did it give us a pullback? Yes. So rule number 5 is good. Did it go into the 0.5 fib zone? Yes. So that rule is being followed. Is it following the same EMA that we need to look for price to bounce off on? Yes. We're looking for 50. So a lot of rules are being followed, but a lot of rules are also not being followed. So this is one of those trades where we start asking ourselves, hey, are we going to take this trade because, you know, 5 out of 7 rules are being followed? No, not gonna take this trade. Simply because of this right here. We're in a little trap zone where price has been giving us double bottoms, double tops, double bottoms, double tops, right? The entire time. So I'm not going to be, you know, literally until we break below here, I'm not taking these trades. Because like I said, this is a 50% chance of winning, and I don't like those odds. I'm not a 50% trader. You know what I mean? Like that's the big difference. Right? It's, again, why would I take a trade? Why would I take a trade knowing that there is a 50% chance of coming out on the winning side of it? You know what I mean? Like that's the whole thing about it. Again, it sucks because, oh, you got to be patient and you're missing out on a lot of trades. Cool. That's the way that we want to say things. That's dope, right? But again, this GJ trade, I'm not worried about it because we already took 2 wins today. Simple wins, simple trades. Right? My bad, I know my mic every time I move it, but I needed to sneeze. Simple trades. Like, what are we looking for USD CAD, right? USD CAD was nothing more simple than just the fact that we're at the low of consolidation, right? We were at the low of consolidation in a higher time frame, right? In a lower time frame, which is where we're at now in the 30, we were in a little zone, right? In between the zone, we had our low and we have our high. The fact that, okay, we were at the low, we knew that we were looking for a safety trade. We knew that price has to start going up, right? That was the entry criteria, right? We waited for price to go to the bottom of consolidation, which it did. Once it got to the bottom, we started making internal structure change of characters, which happened here. This first little break was a change of character, right? Waited for price to start consolidating and give us a pullback, which has happened here. That was the entry, and then it continued to go up, right? Same situation with EuroCAD, right? EuroCAD was the same thing, right? EuroCAD, we're at the bottom. Again, we had a change of character here. We never got a pullback. We got a wall, right? So this is why I just love trading these type of patterns, because after we get a change of character, we know we have to get a pullback, right? We know we have to get a pullback, right? So there's 2 things that the market is gonna do, right? Either market is going to just, instead of giving us a pullback, it's just gonna consolidate and then it's gonna break out, right? Or the market is gonna just give us a pullback to then continue going up, right? So in this case, right, we had, give me a minute, hold on. Fuck. Same situation, right? We had a change of character, gave us a consolidating zone. All right, cool. Now, again, same situation. You're in a consolidation, right? Let's look at it like this, right? You have this zone here. We're at the bottom of the zone. You see this double bottom. You taking these going long. Cool. Right? It worked out and then went right back down. Boom. So if you didn't cash out at the top of consolidation, which you always should, you got faked out and it went down. Cool. Then, you know, we're at the top of the wall again. It went down. It broke below. Right? So now here we're like, okay, cool. We didn't get a break above, so we know we're not going to get this move. Right? We instead got a break below. Cool. Which is what we could also be looking for, which is going to be the retest, right? Once we got the retest, or once we got price to break down, what are we looking for? We're looking for 2 zones of interest. We're looking for, number 1, is it going to retest here, or are we looking for our flip zone, which would be down here, right? Because in a lower time frame, the real change of character happened down here. We had low, lower high, higher low here, and then boom, green engulfing higher high. So we already knew that this is our little zone of interest to start looking for price to start going up. And what happened here? Price went into our zone, right? Just look at that's why, like, knowing how to look at price action and knowing how to look at internal structure is such a big thing. We had low, high, lower low. Once we got into our zone, lower high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? Same candle made a equal high, pushed down, gave us a higher low here, so then continue going up. Super just simple market structure on this one, right? And then again, if we compare these two that were taken today, which is USD CAD and this one, and Euro CAD, and we go back, now that we see the difference between these two compared to GJ, you see why I wouldn't take this trade on GJ now, right? Because again, it's not as clean as we would want it. Again, we know we're in a zone where traders are being trapped in, right? We know that in here, this is called the trap zone, right? Let's just mark it like that, right? Let's just name this trap zone, right? Not the good traps, right? The bad traps. So we're in a trap zone, and we already know that, right? We understand that in here, market is gonna give you fake double bottoms the entire time. It's gonna give you fake double tops and double bottoms the entire time. So why would I take a trade in a trap zone, regardless of where we're at, whether we're at the top of the trap or the bottom of the trap? What I'd want to wait, again, and I'll explain it one more time. Right, ideally, I would want price to start. Let me also do this. I'm not trying to keep this like super clean, but I want it to make sense, so I'm just right. Let's say, all right, let's say that this is the first entry, right? Let's say it works out, right? I don't want to look for an entry until we have done break out of the zone, right? To then give us a retest and continue going down. Right? This is what I'm looking for. Right, so again, if this entry, right, if this entry here would have been down here, we would have taken this trade, right? Not only would we have taken this trade, right, we're in zero drawdown. There's zero fucking pip drawdown, and we'd be up already 13, 15 pips. And we're just looking at GJ. We understand GJ is a really big pair, so it's gonna make moves like this, right? But just think about that. The fact that this entry itself, we're in profit, 100% entry, 100% entry accuracy, right? It speaks volumes. But again, we're in a trap zone. This is a trap zone. In here is no trades being taken until we break below the lows. Because again, all of this could just be a retest of this to continue going up, right? Which again could be it's not something that can't happen. Again, we already know that, hey, look, the next BOS that needs to happen is at 186071, which is based on the higher time frame. Based on the daily time frame, we still have more to go before we could go down, right? There's still a lot of traffic on the upside of GJ compared to the downside, right? Again, we know that we have this zone here, and we also understand that we have a gap in the daily time frame. Again, does it have to cover that gap up? No. Does price have to go up? No. Right? These are just little confirmations that you need to make sure that you know that it's in the back of your head, right? I'm trading this. I'm not going up every single time to look at the zones, but I already have a mental note. Hey, GJ could potentially still go up because of this. So again, until I don't get a clean confirmation that tells me, hey, we're gonna really start going down, I'm not taking this trade. I'm looking at it, I'm just not taking any trades. I'm not operating any trades on GJ until we get clean structure, until it gives me that confirmation of like, yo, we're no longer trapping, let's start going down. Right? The same thing as when we're going into uptrends. Right? Like the uptrends on this is super simple. We took one trade in the last like month and a half on GJ, right? Which was a very simple entry. Now this is not a simple entry. Here we go, right? Where it went into your zone, you're in profit, and now price starts going back up, and right now you're in break even. Right? What do you do? Again, I already know this is a 50% chance of winning. I'm not gonna be looking at an entry on this, and we'll look already in drawdown, right? So we'll go back to this, right? We'll keep it up because this is the one that I wanted to keep an eye on. And then USD ZAR is the same situation, not the same, a little bit different. ZAR, I just want to see a steeper pullback. I don't think we'll get it. I'm pretty sure we won't get this entry. Based on the market timing already, it's already 8 in the morning. It's about to be 8:30. The USD ZAR pair normally moves during London session. I'm not expecting this to give me a steeper pullback than this, even though the steeper pullback will just be also a retest of the change of character. Everything lines up, right? But it doesn't look like it'll give us a steep pullback here to continue going up. It'll be too picture perfect, right? And the market doesn't really want to do that. How many people you think are waiting for a retest of here? Or even a retest down here? There's a lot of people who are waiting for that. So, and the market knows that. So there's a very big possibility that price might not even price might not even give us that steep pullback, but that's fine. We'll wait on it. All right, I'm not in a rush to trade. Again, the trades that were already taken, I'm not in a rush to take more trades, right? If my trading day is done at 2 in the morning when my TP was hit, I'm still here in the morning trying to see if I could get something else. Regardless, even if I didn't get a trade overnight, right? I'm still waking up in the morning looking at the charts. If there's nothing to trade, there's nothing to trade. Like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna start, oh, I'm gonna fucking start entering all these crazy ass pairs? Like, nah, man, I'm good. It is what it is. It is what it is. Sometimes you gotta let trades move, right? Not only that, right, but it's also a learning lesson, right? Because the more you see it, the more you're gonna get comfortable taking the trades, right? I don't really trade USD ZAR, but I've been looking at it for a few years now. But USD ZAR, like taking trades on it, I've probably taken a handful of trades on USD ZAR. I've probably taken about 5 trades maybe of USD ZAR in the last 4 years. But I've been marking it every single day. Every single day I mark USD ZAR. But it's just about being comfortable looking at how this moves and knowing at the times that it moves, right? Like, I already know this moves during overnight, right? I already know this moves during London session. So am I expecting a move now to happen at NYC? Not really. You know, it could give us some type of volume because yesterday we didn't get any volume like that. But regardless of anything like that, I want to see a pullback. If I don't get that pullback into our zone, I'm not taking an entry on this. I too am done with trades for today. Quite exhausted and don't have capacity for now to keep up with them. Yeah, man. That's all trading is, man. Trading is a mental game. Once you start doing too much, you start losing. And then once you start losing because you feel like you're losing because you're doing too much, and you start doing less than what you really have to be doing, you start losing trades like that too. And then you start getting into your head, and then you're, oh, I fucking suck, or what am I doing wrong? And it's like, it's not. Alright, it's just being able to take a step back and being able to capitalize on what the market is doing. That's the biggest picture. That's the bigger picture of trading that not a lot of people talk about, right? If you're able to mark, right, what I do, right, and this is something that I've been able to learn, and not even learned, but I've witnessed it with even really big traders, right? Because that's all documented online. um once you're able to be like, okay, let me look at a random pair, right? And you could start being like, okay, this is what I could assume that's gonna happen, right? And just to give you like an example, right? Pretty much what I did for GJ, like that full breakdown, and how I use the path tool to really explain, like, all right, this is what I'm looking for, and you're able to really pinpoint where you are assuming where price is going to just based on market price action. That's the biggest picture, because if you're able to see what the market is going to do before it happens, and you're able to confirm your analysis as to why or why not, that's the biggest picture, right? That's the bigger picture. Because as soon as you're able to really be like, okay, there's only two things that could happen here, and you give good reasonings as to why those two things could happen, you'll take an educated decision onto whether or not you're gonna take a trade or not, right? So here for GJ, if we use that same analogy, look at what's happening right now. If we would have taken this trade, we would already be in drawdown, right? We'd be in drawdown and we're a few pips away from stop loss. Our stop loss would have been 10 pips, right? So let's see what happens, right? And this is why, again, knowing where you're at in the pattern is such a big deal. Like, and a lot of people don't talk about it, but it's such a big deal, right? Because it doesn't matter how many confluences you have, right? At the end of the day, the market is just candlesticks, right? The market is just market analysis, right? Price action. If you don't know price action, what else are you trading? You know what I mean? Like, what else can you really be trading that's gonna be as accurate as price action, right? Just how the market is moving. The market isn't the one throwing indicators at you. That's all human made, human assumptions, right? How many times did people, test out EMAs and trend lines and Fibonacci retracements and fucking support and resistance, and how many times did have traders worldwide over the last fucking 50 years, how many times have they tested out these strategies, right? And they're good strategies, they work, right? But when they don't work, why is it that they don't work, right? Why is it that a shoulder head shoulder pattern in the middle of the zone, why is that not a real shoulder head shoulder compared to it when it's in an uptrend or in a peak high or peak low, right? Why is it that a double bottom in the middle of the zone or of the range, or a double top, right? Why is it that they don't work out when they're in the middle, right? It's just, if there's certain rules that have to be used and there's certain things that have to be looked at before you can start entering trades. That's the bigger picture. And that was the whole situation with IML that I've noticed recently. Is, okay, they give you a book with 15 different patterns, 5,000 different patterns, but they don't tell you what time frame to look at in. They don't tell you where it is that you're gonna find that pattern. They just say, hey, if you see what can I think about, a fucking descending wedge, how do I draw that? I don't know. If you see a bullish flag post or a bearish flag post, right? A bullish flag post looks like this, right? You have higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and then you have internal, right? You have lower lows, lower highs, to then continue going up, right? That's a bullish flag post, right? But where do you look at this at? Are you supposed to look at this in the 1 minute time frame, in the 5 minute time frame, in the 15? They don't tell you none of that. They just tell you, if you see this happening, that's gonna go up. If you see this happening, it's gonna go up. Again, ideally, they're not wrong, right? Technically speaking, they're not wrong. But what they don't tell you is, hey man, don't look at that in the 1 minute time frame. Don't look at it in the 5 minute time frame. Look at it in the 30. Look at it in the 1 hour. Look at it in the daily time frame. They don't tell you none of that. Worst, I was lucky hits bad even if I had proper risk management and confirmations. Just that one bad trade, yeah. That's just how it is. That's part of trading, right? Like, again, part of trading is realizing that you're not going to win all the trades, right? And that's not even talking about trades that you really take and you lose. No, I'm talking about like a day like today, right? Where, I don't want to call it a loss, right? But we'll use this since that's the end. That's the way everybody really understands, right? It's just winning and losing. People, once you start getting into like, oh, it's not a loss, it's a, people aren't that really, people don't really think of shit like that, right? Like the regular audience, right? 90% of the people don't look at shit like that. They just look at it as a win or a loss. So that's the way I'm gonna explain it here, right? It's like, let's say we don't take this trade, right? The wins and losses, I don't only mean the trades that you operate live. I'm even talking about the ones that you miss out on because you didn't take the trade, right? So, if GJ, we don't take this entry and it goes down and it hits our TP, at the end of the day, a regular person is gonna take that as a loss. Like, oh fuck, I should have taken it, right? Um, as soon as you get out of that mindset, and again, you start giving yourself real confirmations as to why you're not taking a trade or why you are taking a trade, at the end of the day, the only thing you could, what's the word I'm looking for? Fuck. The excuse you can make is, or the excuses that you'll be able to make is just, what did you do wrong, right? It's not even an excuse. That's not the word I'm looking for, but I'm having a brain fart. Like, you start giving yourself extra confirmation as to why you did something or why you didn't, right? And that's the idea over trading, right? Is, again, if you're able to see moves before it happens, that's the whole game plan, right? Because again, just to break it down for this one, again, we're in a trap zone. Any trades taken here is super, super risky. If you take this trade and you win, in my rule book, again, I have my journal here every single day in front of me with my rules written down 1 through 6. If I take a trade, all those rules have to be followed, right? Remember how I was going through the rules here with GJ, and 4 out of 6 were being followed. There was only 2 things that weren't being followed, right? If I take a trade today, I'm not looking at whether I won or lost a trade. I'm not. After the stream, I'm gonna go through the 2 pairs that we took today, which was EuroCAD and USD CAD. End of the day, I'm gonna sit down, right? I'm gonna go through the pair. Did I follow my rules 1 through 6? If I did, I won the trade. If I didn't follow my rules, then I didn't win this trade. I just got lucky, right? It was a 50% chance of me winning, and I got lucky this time and I won, right? Which would be the situation if I were to take GJ right now. I already know the other 2 I follow my rules, because before I enter the trade I do the breakdown, right? So for GJ, it'll be the same thing. Like, if I take this trade, I already know that I'm losing. Like, I already know that there's a 50% chance that I'm losing. But again, I'm not a 50% trader. I'm not a 50% trader, 1-to-1 trader. Like, that's not what I'm here for, right? And again, and I said this in the last stream, it's the mentality that I have coming from being a competitor, right? Like, I've been taking a loss is not something that I want to do, regardless of my risk management, regardless of anything in the world. I don't like taking losses. It's not something that I enjoy. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, whatever, I took a loss, it's part of the game. Like, no, fuck that. You know what I mean? Like, that's my mentality. So again, why would I put myself in a situation where if I take this trade, until stop loss or take profit is hit, I'm not gonna be able to do anything else but look at the chart, right? But now we compare it to yesterday, last night. I took the trade literally in bed before I went to sleep. Put my phone on the charging port, went to bed, woke up this morning with my alarm at 5 in the morning. Looked at my phone, saw TP was hit, perfect. Like, I could do that with those trades because I already know what's gonna happen. Now, if I take this trade, right, like let's say this trade would have been a trade I took at 10 p.m., I wouldn't be able to sleep because I already know, like, hey, there's two rules not being followed on GJ. There's a possibility my stop loss is gonna be hit, right? So at this point, I wouldn't even wait for price to go to my stop loss. I'd cash out right here. So I'm like, yo, that's it. Like, you know, what are the odds that this is gonna start going down? It doesn't look like they're good odds. Again, regardless of the change of character, regardless of the retest that it could be giving us right now, right? If we just look again in like external structure, again, we're in a trap zone. The fact that we were at the bottom, we failed to make a new low. Right here at the bottom, internal structure, we started making lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then it gave us an engulfing candle to break this previous lower high to then give us a higher high. I already know this isn't going to give me a good entry, right? There's still a possibility that we could go down, but at this point in time, our stop loss is fucking 2 pips away from being hit. It's 0.9 pips from being hit. So you know what I mean? Like that's what I'm like. That's all this game is about. It's knowing the probabilities of winning a trade, but it's also the reasons as to why you have that probability, right? If you're just telling me like, oh, this is gonna happen, you have to give me a reason as to why. Like, okay, why are you looking for that to go down, or why are you looking for it to go up, or why do you think it's gonna go sideways? You know what I mean? So I feel like I'm talking a lot, but I'm dropping some gems here. I'm sorry. So GJ is off my book for today, so I'm not even looking at this shit anymore. Stop loss has been hit if we would have taken that trade, so I'm not even looking at that shit anymore. So that was the reasons why we didn't take those trades. Everything else kind of already did ADR. Still goes down to the other ones, right? Euro GBP and Euro NZD, right? It really goes down to these two pairs. Again, we had a change of character. Price has just been here, sitting down here the entire time. But it's moving really slow. Again, it's a Euro GBP pair and a Euro NZD pair. I'm not really expecting this to start moving. You know, it could, but just the way the structure is looking is not for me, right? Again, going back into Euro GBP, what I was saying earlier was is the fact that price has been giving us these wicks at the bottom, right? Even though we do have candle closures above the zone and this looks good, I don't like these wicks. So this is why I'm not taking this trade. A little bit different Euro NZD, but same situation a little bit, right? It had the same thing, internal structure, change of character. Price is closing above the zone, but it's throwing these wicks at the bottom. And you can see Euro NZD kind of looks a little bit better because it's already driving to the top, compared to Euro GBP that it's still in the zone from this bottom to this high. Euro NZD kind of already broke out of that, which we were trading between this low and these highs, right? This last 30-minute candle closed above, and then this next 30-minute candle looks like it's driving a little bit. But regardless, I'm not taking that trade anymore. It's already, I'll wait for tomorrow, because again, these are also pairs that I'm looking for them to make a new high for the week. So we missed this trade down here, that's fine. We could still get this one here, we could still get this one here, and it's Wednesday. So we could get this trade here on Thursday, this one here on Friday, and then cash out end of the day Friday before market close. So it's not something that I'm gonna rush for. USDZR is the only one that I'm could be looking for today, right? Even gold as well, but gold is in a trap zone as well. Gold right now is trapping traders here. Gives you a double top, right? Lower high makes you believe it's gonna go down. Then here at the bottom, right, same thing. Here at the bottom gives you a double bottom, makes you believe that this is just a retest of this little zone here, right? Because we're still trading between higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? So technically speaking, what are you looking for? You're looking for a retest somewhere in the zone here, right? So for some people that retest is happening here, for some people that's happening here, for some people they're waiting for a retest of this here, right? But at this point, right, at the first retest that I was giving you, it gave us a double bottom, right? So now it did give you a double top, but also gave you a double bottom, and it faked you out. And then now again here at the bottom of the zone is giving you another, you know, it's not a clean double bottom, but it is one, right? Because you had a low, lower high, lower low, higher high. So technically this is a double bottom, and this would be the retest right now. Where price is at right now is the retest of the quote unquote change of character in the lower time frame. And you can see that happening here, because even here, price failed to break below. It closed as an equal low. So right now we're trading between this low and this high. But the fact is also where we're at in the pattern, the EMAs that are close to it, and what we're looking for price to go down because we have a gap down here. Why would I be looking for shorts right now? Same situation as GJ, right? Again, we're in this zone. At this point in time, we're trading between this zone. Inside the zone, it's giving us double bottom or double tops. It's giving us double bottoms, right? It's giving us equal highs and equal lows, all in the same place. So again, I'm looking for shorts, not longs. Why would I, regardless of where I'm looking at, why would I take a long here or why would I take a short here? Right? I would want to wait first for price to go down, get me out of this trap zone, right? To then give me a retest to then continue to go down, and this would be my entry, right? Anything in this zone is just made for me to think that I know what I'm looking at, but realistically speaking, that market maker is getting close to Christmas time. He needs to eat, you know what I mean? And I'm not gonna pay for his Christmas presents. I'm good. I could barely afford my own. I'm not paying for somebody else's Christmas presents, you know what I mean? So that's not what I'm in the game for. Again, I said it once, I'll say it again. Like I'm not in this game to win 50% of the time. I'm here to win 100% of the time. And if you give me a reason to be able to say that I'm not comfortable taking the trade, if I even have a single doubt in my mind, I'm not taking the trade. Just plain and simple. It's very simple. It's a very simple strategy. Very simple. Like, does the trade look good? Yes or no? If yes, take the trade. If no, don't take the trade. It's just like coding. Like, if you press the analog stick going down, you better start moving forward. It's the same thing. So pretty much the only pair left for the day is USDR, but again, it's not a pair that I like trading or like looking at during NYC, but I know that it does give me some volume. It looks clean, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, change of character, right? This change of character, price just kind of slowed down here and then started going up, right? Faked everybody out with a little wick, but that's okay, right? After the change of character, right after that 15-minute BOS and change of character, we're looking for a pullback. That's what we're looking at right now, right? I don't really see a zone of consolidation, right? We're not really in a range, right? We're doing exactly what we need to be doing. We had highs, we have lower lows, or higher highs, higher lows. You know, in the uptrends we had lower lows, lower highs in the downtrends. You know, even external structure, we zoom out a little bit, like we had this high, we had this low, it gave us this higher high here. So either way, we're still expecting a higher low, which could be here, right? This higher low to then continue going up. And then again, USDR, we're looking for a new weekly high to be made. So again, technically speaking, we still are looking for price to push up to the zone here. We'll put in a little box here. Let me actually put the line where it's supposed to be in the 4-hour time frame. We're looking for a weekly high to be made here. So we're looking for price to come up to here at the end of this week. Does it have to give us that price push? No. Is there a possibility that we might get that price push? Yes. Are we going to be looking for those confirmations? Yes. So we're looking at two things here on USDR. The MT4 has, but TradingView doesn't, which is why I will not be taking a trade on USDR. So technically speaking, I am done for today. Okay. We'll start from the top to the bottom. Again, there's also something I want to take into consideration with USDR. USDR, and if you don't know this, I don't know. I'm gonna say this on stream because we don't really talk about this anywhere. Just based on my back end of things, my bad. I'll read your chat. Nice, some nice learnings. I too am texting less because it's hella exhausted. No sleep last night. Yo, no, I got you, man. It's all good. Yesterday was a Independence Day, 4th of July here in the States, so I didn't go to sleep late, but I was fucking drinking, so you know I woke up with a little tummy ache this morning. I'm a little tired, but I'm good. So USDR. This goes opposite. The correlation between ZAR and the indexes like US30, S&P, NAS, it's opposite. So if ZAR goes up, the other ones go down. If this goes down, the other ones go up, right? And vice versa. With that being said, I'm looking for price to go down on US30, S&P, and all of that. So that tells me that I'm looking for price for ZAR to go up. Now, if US30 is going down, am I going to go to ZAR and start buying? No, that's not how that works. That's just giving me a little confirmation of, hey, look, when price is really trending, right? When prices on both pairs are trending, they're going to be opposite. But if they're consolidating, they're just going to do whatever. They don't have to correlate. What I'm trying to say by that is this, right? Let's just look at last week and this week, right? Last week, we already know that it gave us 2 weeks of a continuous trend going up, right? So this week, I could expect the same thing to happen. Now, what happened throughout the week that makes me a little bit thrown off to enter this trade is the gaps that we have in the market, right? So if we talk about last week, right? Last week, on the first day of rise to continue the trend, we had a little gap in the market here that was never filled. So I already know, starting off this week, right? Starting off this week, we had two gaps. We had this gap up here, right, which was the start of the day, and we have this gap down here. I already know that on Tuesday, there's two things that I could be looking for. We're either going to have this happen, where price is just going to go up, fill this gap, to then continue to go down and fill this bottom gap before we make a new weekly high, right? Or we're just going to go straight up, just focus on this gap first, make a high, and then start going back down, right? And I say that because of where we're at in the daily and in the 4-hour. We're in this little zone of consolidation. So regardless of how price goes, right, I'm just going to mark it with this here, with this tool, right? We could still be in this zone of consolidation, going from the bottom to the top. And if you notice it, the bottom of consolidation is the gap, and the top of consolidation is just the new weekly high that needs to be made, right? That quote unquote needs to be made, because it doesn't need to make it, but it's something that we could expect for it to do. So at this point, yeah, I'm not taking an entry on this, right? We had 2 days of previous drops. Yeah, we have the 800 EMA, so I'm not really expecting price to go lower than this. But again, the fact that we have this gap down here throws that rule all off, right? Because we could expect price to do what it did at the beginning of the day, right? The beginning of the session, right? We could expect price to open up with a gap, fill the gap that we have down here with a wick or with an opening candle, to then continue going up, right? So again, it's good that I went back to this, because I wouldn't have seen it in this perspective, because on TradingView it doesn't have that. So now I go back to TradingView. Am I taking this entry? Fuck that. I'm not, because that's it. This gap down here fucks up this entire trend, right? It resets this entire trend. This trend, if it doesn't work out, I already know why it's not going to work out, right? I already know that we have all these gaps in the market. We have one gap here, two gaps, three gaps, four gaps, right? We have 4 gaps in the last 7 days. I already know that this shit is going to fuck me up, so I'm not going to take it. So again, it sucks because I said I don't have any more pairs to look at for the day, but it's good because we're not taking any losses. So let's go back to GJ. Right, remember GJ, what was I saying about GJ? This shit is not gonna fucking give us the entry, and it's gonna start flying. Let's see what it did. I'm gonna go from the top to the bottom, to the ones that I had marked for today. So again, Euro GBP, if we would have taken the entry, we would be we would be fucked right now. We'd be in drawdown. Euro NZD, nothing, right? So Euro GBP, we stayed patient. If we would have entered when we wanted to, we would be in drawdown. Let me look at Euro USD before I go back to GJ. Level 2 rise, so we had this change of character. This change of character gave us this low and this high, gave us a retest of the zone here, right? It didn't go down to our flip zone, but it did go down to our retest, and it started going up. But again, we had this high broke, and it gave us this low here, right? So then this low was made, and it broke here, and it gave us a change of character. So now we have a change of character and a downtrend. Right, price has still not reached our flip zone, which is here. Right, will it reach it? Maybe not. Let's see. We had this break from here to here. The highest point between here and here is here. So we're trading between. This is where I don't like how this shit looks, right? Because do I say that this is a significant pullback? So we have all of this moves, and that says that we have this break. This break gives us this high and this low. All right, technically speaking. All right, this does make sense. Where we're at in the pattern level 2 rise, we're looking for the price to bounce off of here. Once we break this, we could get a little pullback back to here to then continue going up. But we're in the little zone. We're in the zone from this high to this bottom, technically. So, can I still expect price to go back down here to the flip zone? Maybe. Maybe. This is something we're at the top of consolidation to an uptrend. Yeah, this could definitely start going back down a little bit more before we start going up. So, I'm not taking this one either. In the 4 hour it looks good. In the 4 hour bouncing off that 200, which is what we want. This little zone of interest, had a wall, created that, continued to make higher highs, higher lows, went back down to it, the previous higher high break, and now we're just trending here. Now the only thing I don't like is the fact that in the 4 hour we made a lower low instead of a lower high. Higher high, higher low, lower high, lower low, lower high, higher low here. So this will go either way at this point. So again, that's another thing, right? If I could see that it could go either way, there's two things that could happen here. Again, that's a 50-50 trade. I'm not taking those. Right? So there's two things I'm looking at. There's number one, the only time I'll look for an entry criteria would be if we go back down to here and we start seeing something like this, or once we break above this zone here. Once we start breaking above this high, we get a retest to continue going up. That's the only time I'll look for an entry. Anything in here, we're asking to lose. Again, why? We are in the zone, right? In the zone, it gave us a double bottom, gives us a double top. Some people would call this a double bottom here because we have price doing this and then starts consolidating, right? And then it could do this. Again, double bottom down here, double bottom here, right? So we have a lot of traps that are being made. Again, there's no reason for me to look for an entry here. There's just no way. Alright, so then we go down. We're looking at GJ. Right, boom, GJ. If we would have taken this entry, look what happened. Right, stop loss was hit. Even if you're using this stop loss, you're hit. So it's a good thing we stayed out. Like I said, you're in this little trap zone. There's no reason to enter trades when you know you're in a little trap zone. There's no reason. You're asking to lose. Like, you're literally asking to lose the trade. Like, you want to lose the trade if you take a trade there. GU though, on Monday, this would have been a fucking beautiful entry. Look at that. Right in our zone. Hold that fucking shit for 3 years. All the way to the top. That's pretty much it, guys. There's really nothing else. USD CAD, like I said, already hit TP, already moved. Really nothing left, right? USD ZAR is going into our zone now. It hasn't been in it yet. Missed it by a few pips, by 4 pips. So, but that's pretty much it, guys. There's nothing else left. I'm not gonna continue just looking at this for no reason. ADR also. ADR for almost every pair has been hit. For the pairs that are tradable, who aren't in a little zone like gold is. That's pretty much it, man. I'll be back tonight during the Asia session. It's Wednesday, so we'll lock in for the last 2 days of the week, Thursday and Friday. But I appreciate y'all for the ones who are in here all the time. I'll hit you guys up